What is hatching, Tug Peeps? OldManTup coming at you today with our Week 1 match of the PPL D2 Season 3 versus Kyle to the Deuce, K to the 2, Eden's Blessings, whatever he wants to call himself, Kyle. Yeah, so we're going to see what's going on here. If you watch a team photo which went up yesterday, you should have. You'll get to see some of our interesting sets, namely our interesting Garchomp. So yeah, if you haven't, my microphone's pointed the wrong way, oh no. If you haven't, go check that out, because you should. Alright, so let's look at the teams. He brought Thundurus, Therian, Landorus, Sirian, Whimsicott, Licky, Manaphy, and Wobbuffet. A lot of stuff we prepped for. Wasn't expecting as much the Licky, but we had it in the most recent season of the GBA, so we are very familiar with what its capabilities are. It's a good phaser, it can be mixed attacking, its move pool is enormous. So we'll have to watch for that. But let's get into this match and see what we can do. Thanks to Fizzy Stardust for recording this battle for us. And thanks to Jack from D2 for genning our mons that were used in this matchup. Thank you very much, Jack. You did a fantastic job. And as you can tell, we're going to lead out with Street Shark here. Even if he leads off with Lando, which I thought was his most likely lead, we are going to match up very well against that, because even with the Intimidate, dropping Draco's max special attack is going to hurt that thing real bad. So let's see what we got. Street Shark coming out, busting out them fangs. He's going to lead out TTM, which I'm going to assume is a token minority, because I think that's her mascot. And, what are we going to do here? Now, Wobbuffet is always a mixed bag. You don't know whether it's going to be physically defensive, specially defensive, mixed defensive, and I try to think to myself, what is his most likely play here? Is he going to straight up go for a counter because he might not be sure whether or not he can take a pair of these? A pair of Bandit Outrages would have just broke this thing's face. If I was the band set, but I'm not. I'm the Dragon Fang set, max special attack. Which is why we're going to drop a Draco here, because I thought maybe he would counter. I wasn't sure if he would Encore. So that was the thought going into this. We can't switch, so we got to attack. So that was my thought. Good. Our best bet is a Draco Meteor. And if he just Encores us into it, it's going to get weaker and weaker every turn. So he might not kill us with the first Mirror Coat. So yeah. So we are going to drop that Draco. It is going to hit. Plus the benefit of dropping a Draco Meteor, if he Encores us, we might miss it the second time. Which might give us the better chance of surviving this. He does go for the Encore, which is his best overall play. And we're going to drop another Draco. Now, based off the damage the first one did, if I crit the second one, it's an instant KO. No questions asked. So, going to drop another Draco. It is going to hit, but it is yeah, it's going to fail on getting that KO, but I see the damage it did, and I think we're going to survive. We're going to survive with 7 HP. He's going to bring out Pita, the Whimsicott, and that is immune to Draco Meteors, so that was a very good play on him. He's going to switch out here. I thought maybe Leech Seed was coming in, but anything he can do instantly gets checked by Ferrothorn. He can't Stun Spore us, he can't Leech Seed us, he can't do any of those things. So we just switch in here. He's got Danny Trejo. I love that nickname. We're just going to switch switch. We're going to trade rocks here. And that's very important. Now, I knew he was going to set up Stealth Rocks here. I thought, what's most important here? Getting Garchomp in before he sets up rocks, because he's not going to U-turn, because he doesn't want to take Iron Barbs damage, he doesn't want to take possible Rocky Helmet damage, etc, etc. So what's he gonna do? I thought maybe a superpower was coming, but you know, didn't know. My thought was gonna be rocks. Do I want to get Articuno in before rocks come up? Do I want to get Garchomp in, who dies now that rocks are up and I don't have rock removal? That would have been my optimal play there. Looking back on it, had I gone to Garchomp that turn, we would have lost it. We wouldn't have had the Intimidate. We could have freely Fire Blasted on just about anything. And we outspeed everything on his team outside of Whimsicott. He didn't bring Weavile, so anything switched into a Fire Blast outside of Manaphy would have taken huge damage from it. And even then, we outspeed any variant of Manaphy because we're max speed outside of the Scarf set. And we just friggin' outrage its face. But, alas, that was not the play I made. We just trade rocks. He's going to switch out here. And I think I'm going to set up the seeds. He's going to go out into Tongue Beast, which is Licky Licky, Mr. Lemonhead, or Tum Tum as I like to call him. And yeah, we're going to set up the seeds, which is good, which means he isn't going to be able to sit in for free and just wish off damage without him healing up my Mons, which is bueno. So even though his leftovers are going to be counteracting the amount of health coming off of the Leech Seed, he's still healing my Mons, which is bueno. I'm going to bring Street Shark back out here. I don't know. I just wanted to see what he was going to do, I guess. And he's just going to set up the Wish, so he gets a free Wish there. And I get nothing in against this thing, which makes me sad face. And no Leech Seed from anything, so that's just bad. But yeah, I kind of thought maybe there was a Fire Blast coming there, which is why I didn't want to go into Articuno, because I wasn't sure exactly how much it was going to do. And I just roost here. I kind of thought maybe he would switch, but you'll see in a little bit why he didn't do that. Get a Dragon Tail here, and that's going to miss. Now, you can say, oh man, that sure was lucky. Not really. And you're going to find out why that miss isn't going to matter at all. He's going to switch out here. And he's going to go to Danny Trejo. I don't know. I don't know if he thought the Hurricane was coming and he was going to live one. I don't know what he expected me to do here, honestly. Maybe he thought I was just going to straight U-turn out. But he switches in. And he's going down to a Freeze Dry. So Articuno, hashtag Team Mystic, is going to get its first kill of the season. And that's bueno. So that was good for that. He's going to come out here, and I just want to see how much damage a Freeze Dry is going to do, because that's going to be the most damage output we can put on it. Now he doesn't have the Leech Seed, so that's not good for us. And he's just going to wish himself back to full health, and that's not good for us. Because, yeah. I'm going to stay in and keep Freeze Drying here. I thought maybe he would switch into something else, and he's going to miss another Dragon Tail, which, again, isn't that good for us, because he Dragon Tails, he switches us out, it lets us explore another option, because this is just going to be a long, slow, stally. I'm keeping on Freeze Drying because it wrecks the rest of his team, and he's just going to keep wishing himself back to full health. Again, if I had the Leech Seed here, it would be much better, but he switched out to avoid that. Again, this is, like I said, just a long drawn-out part where I Freeze Dry. And he's finally going to land a Dragon Tail. I didn't want to switch out, because until he reveals another move besides Wish or Dragon Tail, there's no real reason for me to switch. So, he gets that Wish back, and he's almost all the way back to full health, and will be after the leftovers. So, I'm like, okay. He's not taking much damage from those Freeze Dries, so I'm thinking maybe it's specially defensive set. Gonna go for the Fire Blast here, and that's gonna miss, which is good. However, I do believe we would have survived, and it would have given us a chance to switch out here. So, yeah. He's gonna set up the Wish here, and I don't know why he didn't go for back-to-back Fire Blasts. Perhaps he expected me to switch. And I'm going to go for that Power Whip, and that does absolutely nothing. And Licky Licky is just annoyingly fat right now. But as long as I'm getting that Leech Seed back, he's losing a little bit of health. And he's going to switch out here. And that's okay with me. He's going to go out into Mercury, which is his Thunderous Therian. Going to go for that Power Whip. And that does a respectable amount of damage, just something that resists it. But that Wish is going to put him right back at full health. Now, he nasty plots here. And I really thought he was going to Volt Switch to try to get initiative. Something else. Yeah, wasn't sure. I knew I could take a Hidden Power Fire from this range. I knew I could take an Incinerate from this range. I knew I could take all those things. Nasty Plot is not what I expected to happen this turn. Had I expected the Nasty Plot, I would have went for something that did a little bit more damage than what I do. So, he sets up the Nasty Plot, and I'm going to set up the Leech Seed here. Because I was thinking I could stay in, take a hit, possibly two, depending on whether he specs or Life Orb. Nasty Plot is not what I saw coming at all, and that's stupid of me because Nasty Plot set wrecks my team. So, in case you didn't realize or recognize, because if you weren't alive in the late 80s, early 90s, the thumbnail for this video was WWF, which is what it was called at the time, Tag Team Champions for a while, the Nasty Boys. And I thought it was fairly fitting based off of what happens. I get the Leech Seed up here, and looking back, that was a really bad move. This thing's super much faster than me. Power Whip's resisted, and so is my Woof. Yeah. No bueno. So is my Gyro Ball. Gyro Ball probably would have been the optimal play because I believe the damage output would have been higher, and it would have mattered. Now, had I made the smart play there, he's got leftovers, so the Leech Seed didn't help me at all. He's faster than the rest of my team, so nothing can get a hit off, or nothing is going to survive a Nasty Plotted Thunderbolt. What do I have left? Yeah, I don't think anything else on my team survives a Nasty Plotted Thunderbolt. So that's no bueno. Yeah. So that was a huge misplay there. Huge. But then again, like I said, I expected him to Volt Switch out and not stay in. So we're going to bring in Hammer Time. And Hammer Time's got that Fake Out. So we're just trying to accumulate damage on this thing and do damage control for ourselves. So yeah, we're going to Fake Out here. And I expect this to do about 50%. And it does less than that. I was just like, my god. Woof. So, yeah. We are going to get the Leech Seed here. Wait, I mean, this is the one point where it helps us out. And it puts him in the yellow range, which is very good for us. And it is not going to help us survive this Thunderbolt, though. Even without the boost, Thunderbolt almost always knocks us out. But this gives us the opportunity to bring in Mr. Entei, Tyrion Lannister, our Lion. So Tyrion comes out here. Now, this was the longest play of the match for me. I think I took it all the way down to timer, and I was like, he's gonna switch out. Because in my mind, Gyarados after a Dragon Dance pretty much walks through the rest of his team if this thing is dead. Whimsicott could come in and do the Stun Spore thing. I've got Leech Seed. And after a DD, I believe I outspeed it. Not that it would have mattered as Prankster. That didn't make sense now that I think about it. But in my mind, Gyarados matches up well against the rest of his team, as does Entei. I was really thinking he was going to switch out here to try to preserve this and avoid a Banded Extreme Speed, which 100% kills from this range all the time. So I made the aggressive play and went for a Sacred Fire, because I really thought he was going to switch. Anything coming in was not going to like a Sacred Fire as much as, if not less than, an Extreme Speed. So I made the bold play and went for Sacred Fire, really thinking he was going to switch. And you're going to see how well that works out for us here in a minute. Not well at all. The Thunderbolt's gonna kill us. I don't know why I didn't do damage control at that point and was just like, well, I have to kill this thing because it walks through the rest of my team. So I cried myself to sleep after that. Team Mystic is going to come back out here and not going to be able to take anything after taking 50% to rocks. But yeah, Articuno, oh my god, is going to be the only mon on our team to rack up a kill this week. And Gyarados is going to come out, our last mon, going to take Stealth Rock damage and just died with Thunderbolt. And that's just sad face. So wonderful prep by K to the 2, Kyle to the deuce. Yeah. So, fantastic. He prepped very well, he played very well, and he just was definitely outclassed this game by Kyle. So, GG Kyle. Water dose. What are those? Going down. And yeah, so Kyle beats us. Like I said, good game Kyle. Fantastic prep. And yeah. So, back-to-back seasons of the PPL. Our debut match, granted we didn't start last season, we picked up for someone midway through the season, almost. We are 5-0'd, and the only Pokemon to faint on the opposing team is a Landorus. This is not the trend we wanted to continue. At least this time we got to knock out Landorus and it didn't explode in our face and be the only thing that contributed to a death. So yeah. But anyways, not the way I wanted to start the season. I'm really looking to make some transactions and some moves to change up the team a bit. Really wanted to go a different direction with the way this team went. I might give it a few more weeks before I try and switch out. There are only 12 weeks in the season, so I don't want to wait too long. And I don't want to miss what I want to go for. I'm going to try and see if I can negotiate a few trades and see what goes on. But anyways, guys, let me know. Take a look at the team. I announced it in yesterday's team builder, so if you want to see what didn't appear in the match that is on the team, check it out on the team builder because it's there. But anyways, this has been OldManTup. Thank you for watching, and we will catch you on the flip side. Peace.
Hey.